Okay, grade 5, it's become time for reading, so you're going to need your reading notebooks. Please come to the carpet. Yes, little Johnny, the bell's gone. You know what that means? That means that when the bell means it's time for action. So get your reading notebook and please sit beside your reading partner. Okay. Seriously? Jenny, nice. I see you have a nice reading notebook. Good job. Johnny, seriously? Barbells? Aren't your muscles big enough? Come on, little Johnny. Let's get together. Where's your reading notebook? Again? You forgot your reading notebook. Okay. Anyway, just pay attention, and then hopefully when you go home tonight, you can demonstrate what you've learned in reading today.
Yes, little Johnny. Mr. Stang, I think that you're favoring Jenny. She's like your teacher's pet.
No, little Johnny, I do not favor Jenny. It's just, Johnny, that every child is different. And if every child is different, can you treat them the same? If I tell Jenny something once, she does it. If I tell you, well, maybe you're not going to do it. But after a while, I become a bit frustrated. So, sorry, little Johnny, but I'll try to be more patient with you in the future. Okay, welcome to reading. Please get your reading notebooks and bring them out there. I've shared with you now a digital reading notebook. And the reason I did that is because I really do want you to practice this lesson that you're going to take today. You got to practice it, otherwise you're not going to get it. It's one of the tougher lessons. Just let me turn the lights out there to avoid any reflections. Okay, also, your other digital reading log is for your own good. You can read nonfiction things or newspapers, articles, anything about sports, whatever you're interested in, K-pop, anything. So that's for the reading log. This is for the lesson that you're going to be doing. We're still working on webs of depth. There it is, webs of depth. And so if we go ahead and I'll just kind of show you how the reading log works, how your digital reading log works on this. So I'm going to go ahead and open it. I actually put it into the digital reading log folder. And all of yours are going to appear there soon. So digital reading notebook, that is. Here it is. And there's the digital reading notebook. Now, I'm working on John Cena. Thank you, John, for letting me use your notebook. Yeah, you did a good job on that. Okay, the date I put in March the 4th. Then we're going to actually look at the text we're reading today, and we're going to use a science textbook. Earth surface changes. Let me go get Narumi's cane here, just so I can keep pointing like that. Earth surface changes. So in the digital reading notebook, I'm just going to put it in there. Earth systems change the surface. And that's about what we get from there. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead. Earth surface changes. What changes occur to Earth's surfaces when systems interact? Millions of years ago, a glacier dug out a deep valley in the area where Yosemite National Park is today. A river flowing nearby met a steep wall of the valley and plunged over it. Bridal Veil Falls was created in the river from an interaction between the hydrosphere and the geosphere. There you can see the Bridal Falls right in there. Okay, Bridal Falls in Yosemite National Park was created when a glacier gouged out the valley and changed the landscape. You can see this caption here. Earth's surface is always changing. Many of these changes occur because Earth systems interact. Mountains are worn down by water and wind, changing their shape and forming new soil over time. Glaciers in the hydrosphere pick up rocks and soil in the geosphere and carry them far away. The rock and soil forms hills when they stop moving. The hydrosphere's flowing water carries away soil from riverbanks and beaches in the geosphere. The water and wind deposits the soil in new places to build new beaches, sand dunes, and other natural structures. These natural structures on Earth's surface are called landforms. Plants and animals in the biosphere change Earth's surface in many ways. Plant roots break up rock part of the geosphere, decaying plant matter in the biosphere helps to form new soil for the geosphere. People remove soil when they mine minerals. They build dams, creating new bodies of water where forests and hills once stood. And as Earth's surface changes, the other systems change. Weather and climate may change if a new mountain range in the geosphere causes more or fewer clouds to form. Animals may leave an area if weather patterns change. Okay, so we've read that. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to write a 2-sentence summary about what this is all about. And you'll be writing this in your digital reading notebook. Okay, so basically we read that, and if you can talk to your partners. Okay, and then you can share what you had. Okay.
Earth's systems change Earth's surfaces. Is that right, Mr. Stang?
That's right, Jenny. This is about Earth's systems interacting. I think it's interacting and producing new landforms. Anything to add to that, Johnny? Okay. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yes, it does take millions of years, but we might come back to that a little bit later. All of the Earth systems interact to produce them. Then, I think that summary, it's brief, but at least it knows what we're talking about. Now, because we're talking about webs of depth, we're going to be asking several big questions to make it, so that you can research it and get deeper into it, and then you'll understand the subject much better. So what would be one question that would have, let's look at the first one, has a right or wrong answer, can easily be memorized. Answer can be found right there in the text. Anybody have a question? Yes, little Johnny.
How many years does it take to make mountains or to change land?
Okay, I think we can answer that question. How many years does this take? And I think we could find that just by looking in the text. Okay, let's try a number 2 type question. It still has the right or wrong answer, and they have to take information and use it. And they have to think and search for the answer. So you might have to go back. Does anybody else have another question we might ask? Yes, Jenny.
Yeah, but how are mountains actually formed? That sounds like a difficult question.
Okay, that's a good question too. So, how are mountains formed? Okay, that would be a good question. Now let's look at level 3. These questions, as you know, they get harder and harder, and they require more and more thought to answer them. So here's the level 3 question. The level 3 question has multiple right answers or approaches and uses evidence, but goes beyond it, goes deep into one text. So now trying to think of another question that is really deep. How are mountains formed? That's a pretty deep question too, and you can think of that. We could find the answer to that. But thinking of other questions. I think something came up from the article at the end, and you can always go back to the article and reread it. As the Earth's surface changes, other systems change. Weather and climate may change if a new mountain range in the geosphere causes more or fewer clouds. See, that's pretty deep. Like, what? A new mountain range causes weather to change? That's a lot deeper and more interesting. So, we could think of that as a question. How does changing Earth surface produce different weather and climate? How does a changing Earth surface, I think, is best. Okay, And then we go to number 4 to think of another deeper question. Now, if you can get down to number 3, you're doing pretty good. And I'll be honest with you, number 4 questions are almost to the grade 6 level, but you should try to push yourself. Okay, has multiple right answers or approaches, uses evidence and goes beyond it, goes deep into multiple text, takes time to investigate. So if we're looking at the Earth's surface changes, and then we might think of deeper questions, can anybody think of a deeper question for this? It seems really different, but we want it to be difficult, so.
Oh, what about, what does pollution have to do with this? Does pollution affect the Earth systems and affect weather?
All right, that is a very good question. Because a lot of us are worried about pollution, that's right. So we could say, how does, or I could say, does pollution affect how Earth's systems make new land? I might even add to that one, what does our future hold for us? And then we could probably make some research questions. I'm going to just fix pollution there. And effect, I guess it's with an A. Important to get things right. Good thing for the spell check. Now, if you can get that far today, in the next reading lesson, we are actually going to start looking at researching some of these questions and finding different articles. You're going to go into the internet and do some research. That's probably the best source you have at home, but we'll talk about that more next reading lesson. If you can get this much and put it into your digital reading notebook, that would be great. So I'll just see what a digital reading notebook might look like today. So we did the summary, right? So either way, I can take that summary that we did and I can just put it in there. I'll write it in there with my quick hands. I'll put it in the digital reading notebook. There's a summary. Okay, I don't want to change this because this is the one you're actually going to make a copy. But I'm just going to show you and then I'm going to delete this and take it out. Then the reading strategy we used, can anybody remember? Yes, little Johnny. That's right. We used Webb's of depth. So if we went over to this notebook and we would look at the reading strategy and we just type it in here, Webb's of depth. And that's the reading strategy. Then we had to ask the 4 questions. So today your reading strategy is just going to look like 4 questions. Put in there like number 1. And how many years does this take? I could type that like this. I'm glad we're doing this because we can get it straightened out. So let me make this bigger. Ooh, that's big. Okay, so I go to number 2, and then it's like I could just go back and forth to these questions. I could have worked in here. How are mountains formed? I maybe can just take this like this. How are mountains formed? And number 3, and so on. And then your digital reading notebook is going to look something like that. It's got the date, it's got the text we're using, it is nonfiction, Earth systems interacting, it's got the quick summary, it's got the strategy, and then you're going to just write it out like that. Okay? And if you have questions, yeah, you can email me or you can even offer suggestions in your digital reading notebook, and that would be about it. Okay. Anyway, good luck to you on that. And some of you are wondering what to read, but if you really don't have anything to read, you are going to be tested on science. And if you go to your science book, these are actually written at your level. That's a great source to have. So if you have nothing else to read, go to your science textbook. I'm just going to minus this so I can get it. And just take the next section, section number 2, how islands form. And if you read even 2 or 3 of those, how islands form, that should be good enough. So section 2 of your science textbook, how islands form. If you're looking for something to read and you don't have your own source, try that one. Great idea. It's like killing 2 birds with 1 stone. You learn about reading and you also learn about science, and at a level that's very good. Another thing that I was going to point out is in your digital reading notebook, there is a vocabulary section. We're always concerned about vocabulary. So There is a vocabulary section at the bottom. You can put any new words that you're learning in there, and that all counts for your betterment and then help you do better on the iReady test, as that anything you do for vocabulary is going to help you. Okay, thank you.